Alright, what's up YouTube? It's boy Mr. Negative. I'm back with another video, and today we're gonna talk about birthdays. You know, everybody celebrate birthdays. Not everybody. I don't. A lot of people don't, because that whole celebration and partying lifestyle is it's kind of contradicted to the scriptures. So I found something in the scriptures that one of my Facebook friends posted, and I was like, whoa, I never looked at it like that. Then when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, we gotta be negative about these birthdays now, since everything I say pertaining to the scriptures is deemed negative. So now, yeah, we gotta be negative about these birthdays. So first off, we're gonna read from the book of Job. And the book of Job it's like sort of in the middle of the Old Testament, but that's not the right chronological order. After reading the book of Job and reading some literature from another brother who studied the book of Job, he was studying the giants and the giant seed, and how the giant genetics got to the new world after the flood, and he referenced Job and a lot of the material he was putting together, and he was saying that Job lived in a time before the flood in the old world, in the ancient world. He wasn't in the new world, but that's not true, because in the beginning of Job, God said Job was the only perfect man in the land. And if he was before the flood, that would mean he would have to be Noah, and the stories with him and Noah do not parallel. And because in the beginning of Genesis, it said Noah was the only perfect man in the land, which is why God chose him to go and start the new world. So then you look at Job's lifespan throughout this book, and Job lived hundreds of years. But God said after all the evil was brought to the earth by the Nephilim and the giants and the fallen angels, that humans wouldn't live more than 120 years. Well, Abraham, after the flood, lived almost 200 years, I believe. Jacob lived around 200 years. Isaac, they lived over 120 years, but they didn't live the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 900 years that the humans before the flood lived. So after the flood and into the new world, everybody's lifespan was shorter. I believe the people at the beginning of the new world lifespans were a lot longer, because they still had some of that Nephilim seed, that corrupted seed that was brought over through the genes of either some of Noah's sons' wives, or either Noah's sons himself or Noah's wife. But Noah was deemed perfect, a complete human. He was not infected with the Nephilim seed. I don't think his wife was either, because his wife was, I think she was the daughter of Enoch, or daughter of one of Enoch's children. So she could have been infected, but it's a better chance of his son's daughters being infected than it is Noah's wife being infected. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that Job was in a time before Abraham and after Noah, because it said, and we're gonna get into the scripture. Job 1. Let me get to the scripture. Job 1, chapter 1, verse 1 says, and this is my notes I wrote. I'm gonna get to the scripture when I pull it up. But my notes for the first verse of the first book of Job, it says, there was a man in the land of Uz, or Uz, however you want to pronounce it. The word is spelled U-Z, and people, so-called Bible scholars, they tried to pinpoint this land of Uz or Uz, and they've never been able to pinpoint it like on the map. So you like, dang, where's this land of Uz that they speaking of? And then Uz is a direct. He is the grandson of Shem, which is Noah's son, and the son of Aram, which is Shem's son. So he's probably most likely a descendant of. Job is most likely a descendant of Shem or Uz or Aram, you know, and he's most likely a descendant of him. So he would be living in the land of Uz, or either if he was already alive in that time, and Noah had passed, because Noah was perfect. So if God said Job was the only perfect person in the land, Noah would have to be dead by then. So if he was already in that particular part of the land, and it's called Uz, that means that it's in the land mass, or the land, the description of where Shem descendants live. So Uz is the descendants of Shem. So if Job was before, if Job lived before the grandson of Shem, which is Uz, then when they say he was in the land of Uz, that means that he was living in that land. That land was later named Uz when I guess they built the city or built the land up in his name. So that particular land that was in the name of Uz, Job had previously lived there in that particular land, or either Job came along after and was a descendant and lived in that land. So I think that's how we gonna probably try to kind of pinpoint where the land of Uz was. Okay. So we started Job chapter 1, and we already pretty much done covered the first verse. The second and third verses talks about Job having 7 sons and 3 daughters, and it talks about having 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels. So I'm gonna read verse 1 through 3. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. And his substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels, 5,000 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so great that this man was the greatest of all the men in the east. Now, when you say the greatest man of all the men in the east, I can't help but fast forward all the way to the book of Matthew in the New Testament. Now, this is where a lot of church members are gonna get mad, because I just heard not too long ago that you got some pastors out here telling the congregations that the Old Testament is void. It don't mean nothing. So strictly read from the New Testament. That's if he's telling you that man is a devil. Get out of his church, because I'm finna put the Old Testament and the New Testament, like, not I'm finna do it, but I'm just finna point out to you how the Old Testament and the New Testament go together, flow together like water. You just have to have the comprehension, the discernment that God blesses you with to understand these things. Okay, so when we talk about Job was the greatest man in the East, okay, I made a previous video which was on the topic of black hypocrisy, and I put up a map on that video showing where I felt like the direction of East was, and where, you know, we came from as descendants of Adam and Eve when they was placed, they was kicked out of the garden and sent east of the garden. You'll have to listen to that video. It's kind of a long video. If you got time to listen to it, and then you'll understand better what I'm talking about. But I believe that direction was east of Saudi Arabia, where you have Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, and those countries. Well, that's what I believe to be east. until you study and you learn every day. Like people tell me, "Oh, you think you know everything?" This proves right here I don't know everything, and I had to learn this. So I learned that okay, when we talking about the instance of the wise men, I say let's fast forward to Matthew 2, when the wise men see the star, of the Messiah, when the Christ was born, and they saw his star, and they came and they dropped everything immediately and came to worship him, came to give him praise, came to worship God for sending his son, sending his redeemer. So the wise men traveled from the east in the direction west, right? Okay. So it says Job was the greatest man in the east in that time. So it's only one east. So you got wise men in east, Job in the east. But now let's think about what the wise men brought, the gifts they brought to the Lord when they finally got to Mary, and they fell down and they praised the Messiah, they praised Christ, and they brought him gifts. They brought him gold, they brought him frankincense, and they brought him myrrh. Well, we go back to Genesis, which I covered in the third video, my last video on black hypocrisy. In Genesis, it speaks of the Garden of Eden in the first river. The Garden of Eden was broken up. It was surrounded by 4 rivers that watered it. And the first river that Genesis named is, Pishon, or the Gihon. Well, in the first river, it surrounded the land of Havilah, which it said was the gold was absolutely pure. And then the second river was either Gihon or Pishon. Gihon and Pishon are the first 2 rivers, and they on the so-called west side of Saudi Arabia. And the third and fourth river is the Hiddekel, which is also called the Tigris River, and the Euphrates River. And those 2 rivers are so-called on the east of Saudi Arabia. And you got 2 rivers on the west, 2 rivers on the east of Saudi Arabia, so that would be enclosing the area of Saudi Arabia. So on the map, you have to say Saudi Arabia is on that place where the Garden of Eden would have been. But now when you look at what it says about the Gihon and the Pishon River, is that the Gihon surrounds Havilah, the land of Havilah, where the gold is pure. Pretty much God saying that in the land of Havilah, that's where the most pure gold is. And then it says the second river, it encircles the land of Ethiopia and Cush. And so if those two rivers are on the same side in the same area, that means Havilah, the land of Havilah, would have been around in that area where Ethiopia was. Okay, now when we say the wise men came from the east, let's think about the gifts. They brought gold. So I'm not saying there's no gold in no other place of the world. I'm not saying that. But if you're going to bring the Messiah, you're going to bring the Messiah gold, pretty sure you're going to try to bring the best gold it is. You know what I mean? So they brought gold. And so now if you say, you can't say that, you can't say that. If I got some gold, I'm just going to bring it because that's the most valuable thing I have. Because like you say, Machiavelli did send that prince his book and said that, I don't have much, but this is what I hold near and dear to my heart, so I'm giving this as a gift to you. I know other people give you gold and gifts and weapons and stuff. He like, but I don't have none of that to give to you, king, so I'm going to give you the most thing I feel like is most valuable to me, which is knowledge of, political affairs. So you can say, well, whatever you got you feel like is the wise men had to feel like of some value, they would have brought it to the Messiah and worshiped him like that. So now let's look at the other 2 gifts, frankincense and myrrh. Okay, frankincense and myrrh. See, I'm into fragrances and colognes and perfumes and things like that. I done try my hand and try to start making fragrances. So, and you look up the nature of these things, and frankincense trees and and myrrh trees where they get the resin out of it. Those trees are native to Somalia, Yemen, and the third country is Oman. I think Oman or something like that. It's down there by the Horn of Africa at the very bottom of Saudi Arabia. It's two countries, Yemen and I think it's Oman or something like that. It's two countries that border Saudi Arabia towards the south, so-called south of the map. And then south of that, you got the Horn of Africa, which is Somalia and Ethiopia and a few other countries, but they're kind of smaller. So if the frankincense tree is native to that part of the world, and the myrrh tree is native to that part of the world, and the purest gold that God speaks of in Genesis is around in that area also, wouldn't that mean that that's the direction of east? And they say the wise men came from the east. And so now you say Job was the greatest man in the east. So it just took me to the wise men. It's like, okay, it's only one east. Like, you can't say it's two east. East is east, west is west, north, south, south. But see, now we've been looking at the map wrong. See, we've been given a false compass of the map, because the scriptures don't lie. Though it said the wise men came from the east and they brought gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Frankincense and myrrh trees are native to the land of Somalia and Yemen and in the Horn of Africa area, and at the very bottom bordering south to Saudi Arabia. And on the map, that's south of Saudi Arabia into pretty much where the Garden of Eden is, and that's south of Israel, which is where the wise men went and praised Jesus. That's south of that, according to the map we go to. And it said those men came from the east. So now you have to turn the map 90 degrees left. And then there you go. The Horn of Africa and Yemen and Oman. I hope I'm saying the right country, but that third country right there where those trees are native to. Now if you turn the map that we've been going by 90 degrees to the left, then there you go. They did come from the east. So we've been going by a false map, and which would prove how the world is flat and not rounded in the globe. Now, I lost y'all with that, but we're going to cover that in another video, because I really ain't got into the meat of what I came here to talk to y'all about. But we're going to cover the flat earth and the directions and the navigation of it later, because, if you're going to go by the scriptures and not go by, what humans want to do, the scriptures say those wise men came from the east, and everything they brought the Messiah, according to the scriptures, is native to that particular part of the land, that Horn of Africa area and that Yemen, southern Saudi Arabia area. And on our map we've been going by, that's considered south of Israel. Now if you turn the map 90 degrees to the left, then that same area would now be east of Israel. And the wise men came from the east. Okay, now let's get into why we came, birthdays. Now let's be negative, okay? Because a lot of people love birthdays. I know I'm kind of being sarcastic, and I don't mean to, but for the ones who can grasp the truth without somebody being sarcastic, who will listen, I don't mean to be sarcastic, but it's some people you have to kind of be sarcastic in order to plant the seed and get them to actually think about what you just said to them, because sometimes that's all they understand is sarcasm. Like my mother and my grandmother used to say, you can't just tell black kids something, you gotta yell. They won't do it until you yell, scream, and kick at them, because sometimes it's just like that. Like a person won't listen to a gentle approach. Sometimes you gotta be forceful, sometimes you gotta be sarcastic. Yeah, they gonna respond like, in a defensive way, but they heard it. You know what I mean? Like, it touched them. And that's all you gotta do is plant the seed. And if it's fertile ground, God gonna water it and make sure it grows. But let's be negative. His sons fasted it's Job 4. Job chapter 1 verse 4 says, his sons fasted in their houses, everyone his day. And I'm gonna read, that's my notes, I'm gonna read the actual scripture. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, everyone his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. Okay, so chapter 4 is saying that basically his sons feasted and drank and had drinks in their house, everyone his day, his particular day. And when you stop celebrating birthdays and people call you and be like happy birthday, you be like, man, I don't even care about them birthdays. You know what I'm saying? And so when somebody's special near and dear to your heart, which it's July, very special young lady to me, she just had a birthday, but she know I don't celebrate holidays and birthdays and none of them days. Especially if I'm not gonna celebrate the festivals and the holy days that's prescribed for us in the scriptures. I'm definitely not gonna continue to celebrate man-made pagan days. I'm not gonna do it. So, and I know it probably upset her because I didn't do anything for her birthday, but I do stuff for her all year round. So it's like, it's just that hypocrisy, for someone to not, kind of be upset you won't do nothing. Not saying she was, but how people would kind of get mad you don't celebrate their birthday with them. But if you look year round, I'm here for you year round. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna let nobody down who need me year round. So why I gotta wait till one day to show you love? I show you love all the time. This is what I do. I show love. You know what I mean? So when a person come to me talking about their birthday, I just tell them enjoy your day. I tell him enjoy his day. I tell her enjoy her day. And this scripture said his sons fasted in their houses, everyone his day. Because that's their day. That's the day you were born. I'm not gonna be happy birthday, enjoy your day, man. You know what I mean? Like that's your day. So this is indicative of this being a birthday. And what we do on birthdays, we turn up. They say we finna turn down for what? Like, no, ain't no turn down, turn up to the knob break, they say. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ought to see people around their birthdays, man. Some people celebrate birthdays all week, all month. They get so drunk, they don't know what happened. They get so high and loaded, they don't know what happened. They turn to a sex demon. They finna have so much sex their birthday night. Man, it's finna be, I'm talking about they go on, they put their kids off and go on trips. You know what I'm saying? Like, to celebrate birthday, like if it's my birthday and I got kids, why wouldn't I take my kids on the trip and celebrate my birthday with my kids? You can't take your kids because you went on a trip to let your hair down and get loose. And you don't want your kids to see that type of behavior from you. That's why you put your kids out, because you finna go do things that's not according to the scriptures. Because if it's my birthday and I'm celebrating birthday and I say I'm going on a trip, I'm finna take my kids with me if I got kids. You know what I'm saying? Close thing to me and my nephew. I'm gonna take if I'm go on a trip and if my nephew live with me, he's with me all the time. I'm not finna ask somebody to keep him for me so I can go celebrate, go on a trip. Now if somebody say, hey, I'm having a party at the house, I'm having kids having a sleepover, they're gonna be over here all week. This just gonna be a week-long sleepover, the kids getting together. Hey, tell nephew come on over here, see if he wanna come. If he wanna go, bam, he over there. Now I'm actually free, and if they follow along my birthday, yeah, I can go on a trip if I'm gonna celebrate my birthday. But now I'm not finna find nobody to keep my kids while I go. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I can take my child with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't you want to take your kids with you? Because you finna go do something that ain't according to these scriptures, and you don't want your kids to see. You don't want your kids to see you act like that. But his sons fasted in their houses, each one his day. And like I say, it's so much celebrations going on birthdays. And now, see, I ain't got to the part of the scriptures that God condemned you. See, I ain't condemned you yet. I'm just saying, I'm just explaining all the different kind of celebrations people do on their birthday. I'm not at liberty to condemn you. But see, God finna condemn you with these scriptures. And in chapter 5, I mean not chapter 5, but verse 5, it says, "And it was so when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all, which was 10 children. He gave 10 sacrifices after their birthdays." We're going to get to that. "For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed gods in their heart. Thus did Job continually." So, what 5 is saying, after their birthdays and after their celebrations, Job, which now think, it says Job was not with them. His sons feasted in the house, everyone his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to drink with them. Now you say, well, that didn't say Job was with them. He probably was with them. Okay, I'm gonna let you have that for right now. Then number 5, it said he gave them he got up. Verse 5 says he got up the next morning after their celebrations and offered burnt sacrifices to the Lord for the number of all them, which was 7 sons and 3 girls. So you got 10 children. So he offered 10 sacrifices the next morning after their birthday celebrations was over, after the drinking and the feasting. He offered 10 sacrifices that next morning, because he said maybe, just maybe, in all their drinking and feasting and having fun, they may have cursed God, or went against God, or went against his word, or went against his way. Because you say, you adding stuff on now. Okay, cursing God don't mean don't only mean if I just sit up and say, bleep God. No, that's not just cursing God. Cursing God is knowing that you're doing wrong, but you do it anyway. Knowing in your heart that you're not supposed to be getting this drunk. You're not supposed to be out here acting all, fast and unwind and just, just turn up, do what they say, do what you want to do. You're not supposed to be doing that. That's cursing God, because even if you don't know the scripture, you got that feeling in your heart. You got that feeling in your heart. Cause see, on Judgment Day, he got a real extensive play-by-play. He got a real extensive playback button for you. Like, you gonna try to say, I ain't know this, I ain't know that, I didn't know this, but your spirit is gonna be there to testify against you. That's why when you die, your spirit go back to the Father and your soul go rest until it's called to give account for what you did when you was alive in that flesh. And see, when your soul when God say, why you do this, why you do that, and your soul get to saying, I don't know. Your spirit is going to be there to say, oh, no. I was telling you in your heart, don't do that. Don't do that. You know that's wrong, but you did. Your soul said, forget it, I'm going to do it anyway. So you going to see that's what I'm saying, like, your spirit is going to testify against your soul. That's why you have a good voice inside of you and a bad voice. It's your spirit, your conscience, that's God, that spirit of God speaking to you, telling you, hey, don't do that. That's not right. Do right. But you do what you want to do anyway, which is your soul doing what you want to do. That's who you are. So he sacrificed burnt offerings for them because maybe they cursed God. Maybe they went against God's way. And, which he did, they say he did it continually, which means he did it for all their birthdays every year. Because to celebrate this day like this is a sin in itself, because why would he get up and offer sacrifices to it every single time? He said he did it continually. It has to be a sin in itself, because he did it continually. Like, if celebrating your birthday isn't an issue, Job would have joined them and he wouldn't have had to do no sacrificing. The reason he didn't join them because it was not ordained. It was not according to the way. So he did not join them. And when their celebration was over, he came and offered sacrifices for them, doing all that drinking and celebrating, because just maybe they got out of line and cursed the way of God. And it's all in the scriptures. Like, you know, I'm just giving you an interpretation, but the scriptures back me up. Now, we're going to go to verse 6 through 10, and we're going to read that. 6 through 10, verse 6 says, Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also with them. The Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Which means, where have you come from? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, Have thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and upright man, one that feareth God and escheweth evil? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, Why doth Job fear God for naught? Hast thou made a hedge about him and about his house and about all that he hath on every side? Thou hast blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. Okay. Basically, the sons of God, which are angels, which are spirits that are watching over us, came to give account to God. And it says Satan came along with them. And he asked them, Where you come from? He said, I come from everywhere, watching everything going on in the earth. And he said, since you watching everything, have you noticed my servant Job? Now, man, hold on, before I go further, watching everything. Since you watching everything going on in the earth. Don't this Illuminati pyramid have an eye at the top? Wouldn't that be indicative of somebody got their eye on you, watching you? And don't this Illuminati stuff just scream demonic and evil? He said he been coming from to and from the earth, watching everything going on. And God say, since you watching so hard, I know you done noticed Job, haven't you? Cause he perfect, brother. And them the kind you hate. So remember, this Illuminati got this eye at the top. And God say, since you watching everybody, and he told me, Satan say he been watching everything going on. Don't that click in your head like, whoa, that's the same thing. Illuminati, he watching. And you understand that it was some angels sent down here and they was called the Watchers. And they turned evil. And now they are demons. So when you holler Illuminati, that's not the right name. The right name is Watchers. See, the scripture tell you, he say, I've been watching everything going on. And this Illuminati got this eye at the top. The eye stands more for somebody watching you than Illuminati. Illuminati stands for illuminating light. Light. Illuminating something, like something coming to the light. That's what Illuminati is a synonym for, illuminating something. Like bringing something to light. The eye don't stand for bringing something to light. Yeah, you can watch something and your eyes can be opened, but it also stands for somebody's watching you. Okay, so basically, chapter 10 says he comes and tells God, Satan comes to prove, these are my notes, Satan comes to prove humans aren't worthy of God, of God's love. Not even the best of them, which Job was said to be perfect and upright, the only one in the land. And basically he was saying that humans are not worthy. Satan hates humans because he was supposed to bow to us, but he wouldn't. So his whole agenda has been to prove to God we are not worthy of his love. And so he's been allowed to tempt us and torment us in order for us to give him our souls or us to fight it. And some of us give up our souls to him and give in to his word, give in to his way. Some of us fight it. Some of us stay strong, and then the ones he hate, like Job. So he come after Job, and he say, and God placed the hedge around him, because basically God placed the hedge around Job. Basically he's protecting him, like he got his hand around him, like with God with you, nothing can be against you. I mean, the scriptures say it all throughout the scriptures. So without God, Job is nothing. So Satan is telling him he only free you and serve you because you protect him and you do everything for him. Take your hand off of him and watch. He gonna curse you. So we're gonna go to verse 11 and 12. Verse 11 says, put forth thine hand now and touch all that Job has. He will curse thee to thy face. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he has in thy power, only upon himself put not forth thine hand. So Satan went forth from the presence of the Lord. So basically that's saying Satan told God that he said, put forth thine hand and against everything that Job had. And I'm going to explain to you in a minute. You say, dang, so God caused that to happen to Job. No. Putting forth his hand, when God putting forth his hand against you, that means him taking his hand off of you. See, he causes you no harm. My friend, she messaged me and saying she was going through some things, and some spirits was tormenting her and messing with her, and she said she believed it was God punishing her for her past. And I say, nah, sister, God don't punish you. He doesn't do harmful things to you. His punishment is stepping away from you and ignoring you. That's a punishment in itself, because now you fair game to the wolves, to the beast. See, when he has his hand on you, no weapon formed can prosper, right? But when he takes his hand off of you, you fair game. So when he tells God, put forth your hand against Job, that means God, take your hand off of him. That's why he say you put your hedge around him. Take your hand from around him. And then he gonna curse you, because when he take his hands off of us, we have no protection against these voices in our head, against these spirits. We have no protection. And everything bad just start happening one by one everywhere. You be like, dang, I can't catch a break. Because you done something to make God take his hand off of you. Or either you being tested, like Job was. But yeah, so when he say put forth his hand, God don't do nothing to you. Don't misconstrue God is a wrathful God. No, he's not wrathful. He don't do nothing to you. He just take his hand off of you in order for your faith to be tested, or just because you being disobedient. He just take his hand off of you until you come back to him. And you saying, whoa, so where all the bad stuff come from? He allows Satan to torture you and torment you to see if you are worthy of his love, because that's what the problem was in the beginning. That's what got Satan kicked out of heaven, because he did not want to bow to a human. He said they were forged from clay. I was forged from fire. I'm greater than them. You want me to bow to them? They ain't worthy of your love. They not going to serve you like I am. They don't have no power like I got. So his job has been to torment us and tempt us in order to show God, I told you, they not worthy to be up here in heaven. They not worthy to live amongst you. They not worthy to be in your temple. They not worthy to be called your people, to be called sons of God. They not worthy. But his son, he cannot prove that to God, because some of us stay loyal. And that's what he hates, because now all the stuff he been doing to us, if he succeed and get every one of us to serve him, he gets to go back to heaven and be a son of God, because he stayed loyal to God and showed God that us humans were not worthy of his love to be his children. But because some of us, a remnant of us, say yes we are, we're going to follow the word, we're going to live the word, he has to be condemned for all the evil he has done to us, done to our ancestors, done in this world. All the evil he sowed in this world, he has to be held accountable for it, because a remnant of us stayed true to God and didn't prove Satan right that we were not worthy to be children of God. Now, in my notes about verse 11 and verse 12, I said Satan works for God. Satan tells God to put forth his hand and touch all that belongs to Job. Then God said to Satan, behold, all he has is in Satan's power. Only don't harm Job physically. He told him don't harm him physically. And I want to get back to another point of Job's wife was unharmed. I'm finna get into the scriptures to where everything Job has is destroyed except his wife. His children are killed. All his sheep, oxes, cows, camels, everything is destroyed and killed and taken away. All 10 of his children. Nothing happens to his wife. God told him everything he has that belongs to him is in your power, Satan. Only don't harm him physically. Now, it goes back to Genesis when it said man and wife are joined into one flesh. See, people get married and then you got secrets. Your husband got secrets, his homeboy know, the wife don't know, wife got secrets, her homegirl know, husband don't know. That's not a marriage. If you're not one accord, thinking on one accord, coming together, finding common ground, you're not married. You're not exempling a real marriage. Exemplifying a real marriage. Like he says, you become one. You become one flesh. You become joined at the hip. And it's ironic that Satan was allowed to kill and take away everything Job had except his wife. Because the scriptures don't lie. When you become married, you become joined at one flesh. You're not two people anymore. You're not dual anymore. You're one. It's not me and her and me. No, it's we. It's not, it's not a dual personality. It's only one personality here. You are one flesh. And then you say join at the hip. And I'm finna be even more negative. Everybody running around having casual sex, protect yourself, wear condoms, practice safe sex. If you having sex with somebody, you're married to them. Cause don't the scripture say you're joined at the hip? Now where are your private parts located? Around your hip area, right? So when you enter that woman, you're joined to her, because I guarantee you if somebody electrocute her, you're going to get electrocuted if you're inside of her. If somebody electrocutes you, she's going to get electrocuted because you're inside of her. Y'all are one flesh, joined at the hip. Your private parts are at your hip region. You're joined into one flesh. You are one. So when you're having sex, you're married. Yes, you're not just having sex or it's just somebody I talk to. Now, in God's eyes, you're married. And you think about all the people having sex with multiple people. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to get into verse 13. And verse 13 says, and there was a day when his sons and his daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house. So basically it was Big Bro's birthday. It was the oldest brother's birthday. And we're going to finish the book out. And there came a messenger unto Job and said, the oxen were plowing and the asses feeding beside them, and the Sabines fell upon them and took them away. Yea, they have slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the fire of God is fallen from heaven and hath burnt up the sheep and the servants and burnt up the sheep and the servants and consumed them. And I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet speaking, there came also another and said, the Chaldeans made out 3 bands and fell upon the camels, and have carried them away, yea, and slain the servants with the edge of the sword, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. While he was yet still speaking, there came also another and said, thy sons and thy daughters were eating and drinking wine in their eldest brother's house, and behold, there came a great wind from the wilderness and smote the 4 corners of the house, and it fell upon the young men, and they are dead, and I only am escaped alone to tell thee. Then Job arose and rent his mantle and shaved his head and fell down upon the ground and worshipped and said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return there. And the Lord gave, and the Lord hath taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And in all this sin, Job sinned not, nor charged God foolishly. Now, my notes on 13 was basically, it was the oldest son's birthday. It was the day sin was brought against Job. It was an opening. Like, Job didn't sin, he was perfect. Pretty much, if his wife was on court, if his wife wasn't allowed to be touched, if he wasn't allowed to be touched physically, I mean his wife wasn't allowed to be touched, so she was pretty much considered perfect because she was in one accord with Job. So the only opening was his children, because they were drinking and feasting and having parties and things like that. So on that birthday of the oldest boy is when it started, when the sin was brought against Job, when the torture and the turmoil was brought against Job. And it said there came a messenger to Job, which means he never celebrated the birthdays, because why would the messenger have to come to him to tell him that they were feasting and eating on his son's birthday? He supposed to know his son's birthday, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't there. And then early in the scriptures it say after their celebrations he would go and offer burnt sacrifices as atonement to God, because maybe they had sinned, you know, in their feasting and their drinking. So Job didn't celebrate those celebrations with them, those birthday celebrations with them. So that lets you know, like, birthdays, not a good thing. Like, not a good thing. It was the day that Satan was allowed to bring all this pain and all this loss on Job. It was the day he was allowed to kill Job's children. You like, dang, I thought the kids would be part of your flesh. Nah, it don't never say you and your kids join this one. It say you and your wife join this one. Your kids are your belongings. That's what they belong to you. And he said you able to take away all Job's belongings because you can have more kids. You know what I'm saying? That's why we gotta preach to our young women, stop getting your tubes tied. Because tragedy can strike your children, and you have deemed yourself unworthy to have any more children. God could bless you with more children, a better man, more children, a better life in the second half, which he blessed Job in the second half of his life. But you tied your tubes. You know what I'm saying? Like, children, it sounds harsh, but children are not as important as a wife and a husband, because according to the scriptures, children can be replaced. You can have more children. You can gain more ox. You can gain more sheep. You can gain more camels. You can gain more donkeys. He got all this stuff back in the second half of his life. He got more cattle. He got more land. He got more children. And it said it was better than what it was in the first part of his life before it was all taken away from him. So you can gain all that stuff back. Like, those are things that can be gotten again. But as my understanding, God took one rib from Adam and constructed Eve and presented Eve to Adam. He didn't take 2 ribs from Adam. He took 1 rib. So it's only one particular woman out here for you that's going to complete you and make you whole. You know, I know it's scriptures to where men had multiple wives and stuff like that, but even those men had that favorite woman that they was like, they showed more love than the others, and that's where the strife came in amongst the women, because the love wasn't showed equally. And so it's only one woman that we feel like complete us, that real, you know. So you can't replace her, because she was to make you whole and y'all to be one flesh. But the children and the possessions, the material things, children are not material things, but you know, past children and on to material things like cars and stuff like that, and clothes and houses and stuff, that stuff can be replaced. So this was my video on birthdays. And I jumped around, did a lot of jumping around, but hopefully y'all understand, like, you know, birthdays don't seem like they too good. Like, it didn't come out and say, oh, it's just an evil thing, but this is the evil that was allowed to happen on the birthday. That's when Satan brought the evil on that birthday. So, you know, y'all, you know, people gonna continue to celebrate their birthdays, of course. But for the people who conscious and aware and want to do what God wants them to do, you know, read the book of Job. Read the book of Job and you'll see that, you know, they was in fact celebrating birthdays, and Job would not celebrate it with them, and after they were done, he would come offer sacrifices to, you know, atone for maybe, you know, them getting a little too wild, you know, celebrating his birthday. And everything was taken away from Job, and the day it was taken away from Job was on one of those children's birthdays. So, and you say, oh, that's just coincidence, but God ain't nothing no coincidence with God. He do as he will, he do as he please. So, ain't nothing no coincidence with God. He took his hand off Job, and when Satan had his opening, he attacked, he pounced like a lion, waiting in the tall grass, and when he got his opening, he pounced on his prey. And that's what happened on that birthday. Cause you gotta think about it. On birthdays, you go out, you turn up, you get drunk. Sometimes you drive home. You know you could get in a car wreck and die. You know your family, your loved ones gonna miss you. You can get raped. You can get date raped. You get into it with some dudes, from a male perspective, you get into it with some dudes over some petty stuff because you drunk. You get shot up, you get killed, you get your homeboy killed. You live through, but you get your homeboy killed because you were so turned up drunk. Like, you cannot tell me that these scriptures are not lining up with everyday life. Like, on these birthdays and all these days, you turn up and party and go drink and turn up. You are inviting all that stuff. You are inviting this type of stuff to happen. This is what happens. You open the door for the devil. Like when you go to that club, that's his house. You go to the devil playground. You go to the bar, that's the devil's house. Somebody can slip some of your drink real quick. That's the devil's playground. Y'all know it ain't. The scripture's not lying. The devil could have attacked any other day. Why didn't he? Why did he attack on the birthday? Because you open up the door for him with all that drinking and partying and fast living and wild living. Yeah, the club is the devil's sanctuary. That's his house. You know, why would I go in there? If I go pay $20 to get in the club and somebody get into it and shoot the club up, I paid for a front row seat. No, I didn't know that was gonna happen, but I paid to come in here tonight, and this is what the devil has brought in here tonight. So I paid for a front row seat. I didn't have to go there, but I chose to go be in his house where we know stuff like this happen. We know he do stuff like this in his house. And I paid to go in his house where we know this type of stuff can happen at any given time. I paid for a front row seat for that. Be safe, y'all. Again, I love you, and I wouldn't say this to you I wouldn't try to warn you to stop, doing stuff that can put you in harm's way if I didn't love you. If I didn't love you, I'm like, so what? Go to the club, get shot. Go to the club, get date raped. Go to the club, get drunk, drive home, and have a rape. Nah, I'm not gonna never tell you that. I'm gonna tell you now, don't go to that club, man. Like this can happen. You always, but it's too late to say what if when somebody call and say somebody is dead. It's too late to say what if. Wow, dang, he should listen, she should. It's too late for all that. Listen now. But you mad at me because I'm telling you the right thing. You calling me Mr. Negative and I'm the devil and I'm telling you the right thing. And when you die, I'm crying my heart broke. Because only if you would have listened to me. And if you had the chance to do it all over again, you would listen, but it's too late. Now you gotta rest until you resurrected. Then your spirit gonna put that TV screen on you where you can't lie about nothing you did. He gonna say, I sent my messenger to you to tell you, hey, don't go out to that club, but what you tell? You can't tell me nothing. I'm grown. I do what I want to do. And then you go to the club, you get shot up by innocent bystander, get shot up by straight gunfire. And now you want me to save you and you don't want to go to hell. I sent my messenger to you to tell you don't go to that club. My messenger was telling you what I told you in this Bible. You didn't want to read the Bible, so I had to send him to tell you. And as we can see in this playback that he gonna have for you, you spit in my messenger face, you cursed my messenger out, you laughed at him, you mocked him, you talked about him. In some instances you physically harmed him, in some instances you killed them, all because they were giving you God's message to tell you, look out for yourself. Be better, be smarter, be safe, be holy. They were showing you love and you turned around like they were hating on you. And now look at you. You in front of God on Judgment Day and you ain't got no excuse. Cause now he done showed you when you went off on the person he sent to warn you. He gave you the scriptures to warn you, but you won't read the scriptures. So he's not gonna, God is a loving God, like I said, yeah, God is a loving God, he's ever loving, yes. That's why she won't read my scriptures, he won't read my scriptures, so I gotta send people to him. They believe in man, so let me send a man or a woman to him to give them my word that they won't read. And then when he send a man or a woman to you to tell you, hey, this is what the word say, you can't judge me, ooh. But then when you call to give account for your sin, your spirit is gonna testify. It's gonna have that big old screen. Your life gonna be right there. It's gonna be like, you remember this? You told this person he couldn't judge you. This person wasn't judging you, just telling you what I told him to tell you. You spit in his face, cursed him out. Spit in her face, cursed her out. Treated him like scum of the earth. All because they were telling you what I told them to tell you. I gave them a message for you. And you spitting on them is like you spitting on me. Where you think you going? You think you gonna open up the gates of heaven to you? And see, we speaking frankly, there's no time to sugarcoat it. Like, this is straight black coffee. Ain't no sugar, no cream, like real talk. If you turn down a message God had for you, whether you won't read the scripture, so you already cursing him and denying him because you won't read the scripture. He sends, you believe what you see on TV or something. He'll send you a message on TV and you'll be like, whoa, but you won't even pay attention, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? You on to the next show. He ain't picking it up off the TV. She ain't picking it up off TV. So he'll send people in your life that warn you. And these people could be some of the best people in your life, your favorite people, until they warn you to repent and change your ways and live by God's way. Then you hate that person. Before they told you to repent, you love that person. But after they tell you to repent and change your ways for God's sake, you you hate this person. This person is negative. This person is the devil. This person is judging you. This person is, no. That's you. See, you don't want God. You don't want him. But then, when times get rough, you call on him. You know? When you feel like being funny, man, funny girl, and, you know, everything a joke. When it's, you know, everybody playing Pokemon, looking for Pikachus and stuff, but it's kids overseas just looking for somebody to love them, be a parent to them. You know, it's orphans all over the world, but we say F everybody and everything. I give zero ups. I have no feelings. Get out your feelings. Like, it's people ain't, come on, how you out your feelings when it's situation and people in this world like that? You know what I'm saying? No. But just real talk. Straight up black coffee. When we are called to give account for our sins and give account for the things we've done in our life, it's going to be a playback screen. It's going to be your spirit there to testify against you. It's going to be a witness there. So when you start trying to lie to God and I don't know why I did that, I don't know, your spirit is going to say, nah, you know why you did it because I told you not. I was trying to tell you not to do it. You know, but you did it anyway. God even went a step further and sent, you won't listen to your conscience, so God even went a step further and sent somebody that was close to you in your life that you respected to tell you, and you turned on them. So if you turn on yourself, you won't even listen to your own conscience. You won't even read the word. You won't listen to your conscience. It's people in your life that you love and respect, and when they tell you to repent and do better, you turn on them, you don't like them no more, and then you blame everybody else when it's really you. So, you know, it ain't no judging, no condemning, but it's straight up coffee. Like, it's straight, no sugarcoat. Not gonna sugarcoat nothing. Because if I sugarcoat it and you don't receive it, yeah, you say, oh, you too harsh with your message, and you reject my message. Not my message, but you reject God's message in the way I deliver it. Okay. Now if I sugarcoat it and you reject it when I sugarcoat it, I'm in trouble for sugarcoating a message he gave me directly like it wasn't good enough. I'm in trouble for sugarcoating his word like his word ain't good enough for you. Cause you rejected it, whether I came direct with it or whether I sugarcoated it. It just means you don't want it. You don't want him. So stop calling on him fronting like you want him. If you want him, you will receive him. Y'all, peace. Be blessed. I love you. This part one of the video. I'm gonna do part two either later on today or probably tomorrow. Be blessed. Take care. I love y'all. See you next time.